only recorded about 30 minutes out of an hour that I spoke, so here's the recap. I am not visiting Central Market today because I have a sense of fear from people that I've seen being violent and then me running into them there while they're all nonchalant. And so I've just decided to head over to other places anyways that I had in mind with my food stamps card. What else? None of the Lorenzo that I grew up around go publicly showing their artwork because while I was a child there was talk about the family wanted to create a business of sorts with all the talent that had been unseen, and they keep it so unseen that they try to kill people. So I guess continues to be unseen, which is why I was ditching in 2017 and 2018. I'm I love this so much, I'm not even going to talk to anyone. I'm just going to go with it and continue the path that I was on with Blue Sky Designs Co., which I didn't consult with anyone anyways, and go ahead and create my social media until I released my website, because I could have gotten killed by family members just for doing that back then. And we're witnessing how they don't help me. What else? Oh, how because of the UN and Yolanda teaching me about retardation at a young age, that she taught me or validated my feelings of my respect towards Gloria Nursa and Ramon, because she was they're trying to eliminate us basically. Yes. Thank you. But saying there was respect that they had towards my parents and why her and Benjamin, literally, because I was saying that they were talking about all through my childhood, the adults would be oh my god, what it would be without having you kids, that sort of thing. Kids get everything dirty, which isn't true. It's so impossible to have a nice meal with a kid there, which isn't true. This is so good. Seriously. I went for it because of the broccoli, but the bacon is a really nice touch. Maybe next time I'll ask if I can add some cinnamon to it. Yeah, I'm homeless. I shouldn't order the meals. Dish is from all the people that I grew up around want me to fear, which I never have, and I never will feel inferior to anybody. So if you ever see me feeling that way, is that I'm being very abused by someone. Which I hope some music's helping me. You'll never see me stripping all drugged up at a strip club by choice. What else? Or hurting other people. Those are usually red flags that I was taught about, when someone gets kidnapped and starts acting in a behavior that she shouldn't. And this is what my parents and my siblings do to people, turn them into the police with the daily reminder of behave yourself and how to behave and how to spot like human trafficking. Instead of I just got back from Paris. And everything that I did while there was showing you what I purchased or who I like danced with or who got naked. Apparently that's the trend that won't go away in my life. But it's because I date like really confident men, so that's always exciting. I remember when I said nudes to Jorge, he was like, "That's you." Like, yeah. Like I take some really good selfies. And I don't have any in my camera roll right now, which screams I'm a victim of abuse. And all I have is like screenshots of like police reports and written words of like the abuse of my parents and my siblings and my relatives and their neighbors towards me. And I will be kind to a judge one day. Say I went through mental health. And this is me going through mental health. Stressed out because my parents know like that if they leave someone without a car, that person eventually is going to start running into retards. We're stressing out. I'm like, why do you think that this can't be a woman already? Like, seriously. She's probably like smirking silently, knowing about my mental distress. Yeah, and I just remember why, because she's witnessed the history of abuse. I mean, we have relatives in common. Why she was like, please stop, ask for help, it's so no one's gonna help you anyway. And now you're gonna die. And I haven't put anyone in danger, it's just themselves. Pero cuando te pedí ayuda para Yolanda y Samuel, me dijiste que no y le robaste. No idea. That's why I exposed that message that they sent me back in 2020. Because she loves to profit from people's idea, even if the person is dying, starving in front of her. Yeah, Samuel is her distant relative too, so she probably thought like she was gonna profit from his death, which I have not seen one cent about anything, and I don't seek it either. I think Yolanda has it all. Which is so scary. And the last time that I talked to her in 2020, because she reached out to me, I'm like, well, let me see if she's changed and asked her for money. She lived in an apartment. I'm like, still, I hope it's not like a one-bedroom apartment full of her like furniture from like when she had a home and she can't invite guests over. Because that's like what my parents lead people to. They're so stupid. Like while I was growing up, I mean, I used to call them stupid, and I'm like, please seek help for yourselves. My dad would say, well, if we stay to them, but they would say it like right in front of me and other people. If we say to them that we're going to help them in the order that they were born, and we stall, none of them will get homes like us. Natalie, the therapist that I talk to now, said it makes me wonder like what kind of childhood your parents had, because they're terrible. And I said, well, I think my dad grew up in a tent, not for lack of money, but lack of resources. And my mother was said to by the people that adopted her, that she was being treated less than the kids of the family that she grew up in, so she wouldn't get killed by said kids. And it sucks because they will say it's like it sucks to have money and grow up and then understand. Or like the Doro. I have a love-hate relationship with them. They don't have those at the White House. What else? This is so good. This dish is so good. What else? Take a nap, but I don't have a home, and I'm not allowed to take naps. I hate them for a hose on the beds because I'm not an overnight worker. I'm a late worker, but not an overnight worker. That doesn't qualify me to sleep during the day, which I get it. I see a lot of people that get depressed and just want to stay in bed all day, but it's just like let people be and teach them in a better way. Like there's probably someone in is me in a hotel room just sleeping right now. If that's their choice, that's something that needs to be worked with. Like, I could die for not taking a nap when I feel like I need a nap. For me to stay at a hotel, like up the rating of a town place suite and above. I don't do Motel 6. I did stay in a brand new Motel 8 once, like during like a road trip. And I want to cook. And the only suite with a full kitchen is the presidential suite at the St. Anthony. And I want to eat ice cream there too. And the retarders think that every day I'm going to be on camera saying, I want to. Banana milk chocolate chip warm with cookies. So I don't talk about their abuse towards me, and I don't need names. But I witnessed people do that while I was growing up and be miserable and then be misunderstood. Or Nina, acabé así, quita muchas cosas. No. And some of them want to be exposed so that they get education. And I cooked this for myself, Jaden, and Kaylani. And I thought about adding a salad. But that felt like I couldn't afford it. I have money, but it would just like be exact. I already wanted like to swipe my card and then not going through once. However, finally, so the knife where I wanted to put it. What is it? Oh, I may have enough to get myself a hot chocolate later. It's just this weather. And then look for shopping for Uggs. And hot chocolate already. So we children. And I miss my boyfriends who are not, not abusers, are not pedophiles, are nothing of what my parents are accusing them of. They're not thieves. Like, it's like my parents will be accusing people blindly just to keep people apart. And they were probably like creating so much drama amongst people back then, like in 2020. They don't want to know anything about my life, but then they act like they want to know it all just to protect their own safety, though. Insane. It's like we don't treat her well, and then we get scared if someone treats her badly, and then finds out that we exist and treats us badly. Which is why they go on to invade privacy. They're like that type of like my primas that fear getting raped, and then they go opening up their vaginas to people. Like that's how my parents are. They open their home to everyone. And they shouldn't. With the fear of getting hurt, and they emotionally they must be getting hurt. Like yeah. But that's also their excuse. Saying humans are mean. Never ending story with them. Like which I had not heard about. Possibly until like my later teens, like the times that I visited was like, okay, what are we ordering for food to eat? How are you? I just got back from Vegas. It was such a good time. I'm so glad that you told me to Vegas in my childhood. And he never said give me my money. Because there is this thing about living above the poverty level and one being content because one has such peace that even if one can't be like being lavishly like everything. I was thinking about that time that we were in business class and I posted pictures like the only time that I posted a picture of the kids on a trip, they had leather seats, I think. Like in an airplane, but it wasn't custom. So see where like the disparity is. I don't mind going through the airport process. The kids have been flying since they were little. The pictures of like my kids on social media, they've always been inside like brand new cars, mostly leather seats. So that in some ways to people just keeps like the ball rolling as far as like, well, we should treat ourselves good too, which is the whole goal of life. But man, for airlines, losses that they seem to have in this pandemic. Instead of achieving like balance to life, that's what makes me want to cry. It's like it's so many good outcomes combined with like such losses. They're not bankrupt. I think. That's another thing that I heard like growing up. It's like, but are these people suffering personally or not? As well as like all these airlines lost money, but hopefully like personally they're okay. And that's why the government says, oh my God, abrió la boca entre pobres. Everyone, here's a grant for this, for that, 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 which should bring balance, but because I'm still poor, because I'm being killed by my parents, the balance is not being achieved. I didn't even apply for a small business though. Or a grant. Because of all the stress of me like being hungry and my kids being separated from me and not having money. Not the first one. Just snort to the camera. Thank God this isn't a date. Not even if the man like that I've dated would never leave the table because I was and I'm like, yay! Not the right guy. What else? Yeah, and I want to live at least 6 months in Italy. Just to be the different, like all Italy, or just like in one place. I think 6 months will be okay. And I wonder what happened, like I've been wondering since 2019, to those relationships that my cousins had with people that dissipated. And they seem to be like stable relationships with friends and colleagues and lovers. Because my cousins became poor because I was very aware of what was going on and like trying back then, like at the age of 10 to 14 maybe, to save all of these people's lives, and then they're being like, oh, we're not important, like you are the one doing all of this for us and you're more mature, maybe we're not worthy of these friends. And I'm like, no, like you had no issues, like with these people you were behaving like adults, you have to keep going with them. They regressed at that point. Mother, all of you. Oh, there's a hair on the outside of my car, but that's why I like my hair. And this is so good. That's what I live for. Pasta. And is this still recorded? And I don't want to go back to Haven for Hope. I don't like it there either. It's just like that feeling of like I don't feel safe anywhere. That I just like report to the police when my belongings get stolen at Haven for Hope. That's it. transfer. I had $13 in my PayPal account, and I paid a quarter yesterday to transfer it to my USAA account to have like a little bit of more money for me to feel like good while paying at Stoneworks. I don't have like having like just enough, and I left the tip. Got $4.62 left. And the waiter at Stoneworks was like really handsome and polite. And I keep checking the status of my credit card of when will I receive it. And I also played that game of psychology of like I'm spending like almost all the money that I have on food, but I have a credit card coming right around the time that I get my paycheck. And I'm hoping like to be financially stable ASAP so I can send Dana and Kehlani debit cards for them to have money from my bank accounts. Like I can set up individual bank accounts for Jaden and Kehlani through USAA under my main account number. So my card is still in the mail, hasn't arrived supposedly, which is so weird because sometimes they get shipped out of San Antonio, which makes it arrive really quickly. Pero get that 11:02, and then it takes a few days. Like I get all the mail late for like the social security applications and the food stamps office because it has to be sorted, and sometimes I just show up to pick up the mail because I don't have energy to get up, but that's why my parents starve me, so I can't like even do all those processes on time. Like seriously, if they could like find out who the judge was in my social security case, they would be bribing the person. That's like how they lived their life when I was growing up. It's like, we're gonna fix this, but then they spend their time like trying to bribe people until they get it right. It's like that's dysfunction slurping. Terrible. It's like no one wants to bribe, and no one is like, that's almost a system that you also grew up in. So it's like, yes, people are expecting greatness so that like lives aren't lost, but like start taking care of your own, and then like it'll become a ripple effect. I don't get it. I want to get a post office box. What is it that is? Oh, I can get my discount through AT&T. For some reason, I don't think I qualify because I'm a Haven for Hope or the ACP. But once I get a PO box and I update that, I may get a discount if I haven't received money until then. And I feel bad based on what I witnessed when I was growing up. If any of my friends, colleagues, and lovers watch me or read me and they're like, oh my god, by tomorrow she's gonna be better, she just got a job, her parents are gonna help her, right? Without realizing that my parents were trying to kill me, or it's like wishful thinking that, okay, like she's not a bad person, why isn't anyone in her family trying to help her? I've never met a victim of abuse in this same way, except like my own family of origin. The only thing that I've experimented is like a friend calling me overwhelmed. It's like I have to work late and then I have to work tomorrow. And my parents are making me feel guilty because I'm not gonna drive like a few hours for a dinner and then like come back. And I'm like, I've been there. Just like do what makes you feel like better for you and not your parents. It was not the first night, that first cry. She called me crying. And I'm like, oh my god. It's like, you know what I do? I think about myself in those situations. It's like, do you want to attend the dinner? Are you going to be too tired to work? Or like to drive? Don't put your health and your safety in jeopardy just to attend a dinner forced by families. Like, family should understand. I don't remember if she attended or not. That's not the point. The point is that like my new friend back then called me crying about a situation that I could relate, and I gave her the advice that I give to everyone. What else? And I have a sweater in my backpack because it's been like raining, so I feel like it's gonna be cold, but it isn't. I put it on and it's just like I wanna home or wanna be in a hotel room right now, like in bed. Reading, since the guy reading here. I'm so jealous. I still can't concentrate to do that because I don't have enough money for me like to chill and relax. And now I can't even be even for home until after 4:30 because I mean they don't say it directly, which I hate it. The orientation packet, I feel, well, it does come with a map of downtown, but I feel like if Haven for Hope is like a partner with Bibliotech and all of that, like it should come with a pamphlet that Bibliotech exists and that sort of thing, so that people know like what they're encouraged to do throughout their day, that sort of thing. Yes. Thank you. So yeah. Because essentially that's what it is. Like what I grew up around hearing too. It's like you're not supposed to be in bed from 8 to 4:30 if you slept a good night's sleep. And you should be like out and about at the library with friends, shopping, searching for work if that's what you want to do, and that sort of thing. But then energy level comes into play, wardrobe comes into play. Like some people are always like looking for clothes, like when there's like a station that they have. I heard about that through like Pumas, like that people create and everyone just puts in what they're no longer wearing. And when I see people searching through those, I'm like, do you know that the library gives clothes? Where? The information does. Just need to ask. I'm sure like a lot of people are like, oh my god, I want to show up at the library. I was screaming in 2020. Unbeknownst to me that the library gives clothes. Which I got, like I was telling Dayton the other day, it's like I've managed to create like a little wardrobe of sorts by also like asking the library for clothes because I had to let go of all of it that I had and lost so much during the transition from Haven for Hope to Salvation Army and then on the streets almost literally. And back to Haven for Hope. So it was like extremely clean, smelled of laundry detergent, and in my sizes, The only thing I've said this before I was gifted that I didn't like was like a pair of Crocs that were dirty, and like I'm sure if I washed these, I didn't even have a washer access back then. So I got like clothes. I remember like getting leggings. Oh, because I did say that. What at one point I'm like, I have jeans already in my bag. If you have leggings, oh, and I always say I want solid colors. Yeah, that night that I stayed at at the La Quinta, when I received some money, they gave me a pair of Batwoman pajamas, which I didn't even say that I was staying in a hotel. I'm like, I'm staying in a hotel, which was really convenient because I was on my period, and I'm like, I don't want to like sleep naked. It was so uncomfortable. But I'm like, there's a Walgreens nearby. I can buy like underwear there, fix that. Which Team Tampon says Amy? I'm like, I would never put one of those on my body. Try once and just for the enjoyment of the moment, like seriously. I'm like, I trust you. I'm just gonna wear one of these right now. Never again. Anyway, it's like when you have a good friend that's still alive and has more tampons, probably since she was a kid. I gave her this pasito and she gave me like a story that I like used to talk about back then. That sort of thing. Now it's like so cliche. There's like 100 million ideas. They're like, I'm that Latina de me, like an Americana that has Latina inside of her, and you have Americana in you, and then like you think that's friendship because one of you is so poor that the one is. So at least I gave her this pussy, just like I just gave her those moments of like, this is us right now having a good time. I mean, I had never had a song with a friend until then. Like looking at my female and male best friend at the same time, and one is like, that's our song, and I'm like, that's our song with him. And like, where this is going, because like, this is not like how I feel. And it's related to any of you. I was like, I was just feeling on because I was like so turned on. I was hearing Garcia back then, and I'm like snapping all the song. And David Leonard thought I was tired that day. Oh, because I was messaging him on Snapchat. That's it. It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's my day home. And I'm not gonna say that because I'm poor. How can I entertain myself on the Super Bowl Sunday? Or I worked and got off early, some sort of thing, and I didn't have Jane and Kimani with me. So I'm just like watching the video on YouTube on my TV. And I snapped it. That was February something 2017. And I didn't meet JD until May 5th, which was so much fun because then I would be dancing with him while still trying to figure out, it's like, where am I gonna dance with all the other people? Like Santiago Lovelo, and I visited Algo Nuevo or Algo Más. What's that night that Semenea has at a bar, 151 or something like that. And then I'm like, how am I gonna make this kid to my like, it was a lot of like Jerry and David works here. It's like, probably had like half of my boxes still unpacked, but still then it's like every weekend that I was off I would be like sorting it out. And I didn't bring like a lot of stuff. And I went through a period of time there because I was so overworked, overtired, but it wasn't like any of my closest friends' fault. It wasn't Jaden and Kaylani's fault. It wasn't my fault. I was just like, oh, as long as I like the bathrooms are clean, I do the dishes, and even I have like a few unpacked boxes. I'm still like gonna take care of me and not unpack. Like I'll get to that. Or like I was waiting to hear about a 3-bedroom apartment too. So I'm like, I don't want to like fully set up everything and then have to pack all over again because I don't have that energy. I was just in the hospital getting a blood transfusion a few weeks or months ago, and then getting iron infusions. Instead of me being like, oh, life is so great, and I'm baking cupcakes, which I haven't done in a while. I want to get back to. Like, I've done everything with Jada and Kaylani. Everything. Like, they write, they read. I buy cupcakes, but we also make cupcakes at home. Like all the experiences, they've experienced it from like a homemade point of view, or like let's buy it. And I'm bored, I'm lonely, and I need money. And I need a vehicle. I know my parents and my siblings, if they watch this, because they're like, la telenovela, debe contarte esta triste historia que yo estoy causando. And I look at you in the eyes for what they're saying to people, trying to figure out if you're like, you're that smart to figure out that I'm the one causing all this chaos, or why are you still talking to me when you know that I'm the one causing this chaos. They're like, well, car is just as dangerous because, like, no, but there's like that. And it's like, no, it's not. It's a little bit less risk of, like, having to run into unwanted people out there. And less time, like, out. Someone just said hi on this video, and I won't reply, but hi back if you watch this. Just don't have energy to talk to anyone while I'm in this state. And I'm overextended, so when I get financially stable, I'm gonna get back to like myself, my children, slowly like showing a better part of my life on social media, which might attract some of the people that I've been with in the past. If they totally want no part in my life, I understand that, but I won't ever have a relationship with my parents and my siblings, because like some people might say like, wow, she's already been put in so much danger that I don't want to be a part of that, which is understandable. And for me to keep meeting new people. And what is the cost of a hot chocolate at Starbucks? So I have like $4 something, which is what I'll be thinking about. card to see how much I spent. I love online banking. And my parents and my siblings are making me risk my life by me not having money because they're so bored that they want to see what does a person have in their credit card with a $20,000 credit limit. I don't even have access to those statements, and I don't have to show them to anyone but to you, like just for shits and giggles, like they say. I would have, but like I tried back in 2020 to log into my Bank of America account and I couldn't. It's been closed. And it was just like shopping food, more of like what my bank statement looks like and traveling. 462 is what I have in my bank account. Let me see if I have a charge from Starbucks here. Oh, that was from my other account, I guess. No, 406. That was on October 23rd. And no, I don't have anyone like personally after me chasing me for my money, which my parents and my siblings want you to believe that. They're like, oh, ¿para qué darle dinero ahora? Si alguien quizás se lo va a quitar. It's like I don't have any of that sort of threat. Never have. It's 406. I was charged once at Starbucks. Oh, I have $5 in cash. So I may get hot chocolate later. So I'm gonna do what people don't encourage people to do. Get on a bus for like a few hours to see what I see to stop at, because like I know this town from a driving point of view, but not like how I did the other day near my place of work. I'm just gonna get on the bus and see what's around. Maybe I'll see another apartment building complex that they're building, or how many Targets and Walmarts there were on the way. And there was a First Watch nearby. Like I ended up near the Stone Oaks area in that bus ride. That's a little bit discouraged because one should like be in a bus from point A and from point B to prevent stress, but it's not discouraged and not uncommon for someone that's new in an area to just get in a bus and see what's nearby if one's going to be frequenting that place a lot. Yeah, that, like, I was also probably to a judge one day. It's like when I had a vehicle, I would show up to the Magnolia Pancake House. I would show up to First Watch. Not here in town. I haven't been here in town yet, but exactly. So because I don't have a vehicle. If not, I would have already. It's like this whole like planning, like having the energy to get in a bus to eat at my favorite restaurants are sometimes detrimental to my mental health. This is it being detrimental to my mental health. And I want to walk. Which I've also made at home. It's just so good. which is why I want a home. I wouldn't mind like living in a hotel, but as long as like I am financially secure to have like all the services of hotel living, not have to scream that I'm hungry, which is my parents and my siblings' way of trying to damage Holiday Inn's reputation when that wasn't like Holiday Inn's setup. It was Haven for Hope that offered a hotel for me to stay. And look at me fighting for people's lives and me in so much fear that then I end up reaping the benefits of it, but that's not the point. It's like I should be like in a hotel, 5-star hotel, or at least like the most convenient, cleanest for me to want to stay in. Because sometimes there's no such thing as a 5-star hotel in a town, but there's like the equivalent one makes it feel like it's a 5-star hotel. But my parents and my siblings are so dumb. Que hotel o ni hotel, que aprenda a bañarse con las demás personas. That's how they would say like while I was growing up. Pero si alguna vez hay un desastre natural, aprenda a bañarse con las personas. It's like people go through those things when they actually happen. There's no such thing as like I have to go through boot camp of a natural disaster when it isn't happening. That's abuse on behalf of my parents and my siblings. Why aren't they on the streets? It's like that's the biggest flag every single time. It's like if Arlene is the only homeless one, they're trying to kill her. It's her parents. That happened with all my primas. Like, well, you're like, there's no history of homelessness in your family unless like they create it for you all, trying to kill you all. Me and Tony were like, this is gonna be so painful, but it's this mic on. Yoy. Dios mío. Like, I'm damn if I do, damn if I don't, so I might as well just spell it out for people. Bye.